Hello students and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we will be looking into the details of the news that Indians have been held in Panama. So we'll see what this news is all about. And it's not just Indians, many other people are also held. Now, we'll also see if this is a sort of humiliation towards India by US or not, as the opposition in India is claiming it to be. So let's get started with the news. You can see here, these are, this photo is a photo of all these citizens who have been held. Now, it is not that there's a lot of issues in that. It is not just that they can be easily deported because they themselves are not wanting to go out. We'll see that in detail. So let's get started. What is the news all about? So as many as around 300 deportees, which includes but is not limited to Indians, right? They were sent to Panama. Okay. Now, apart from Panama, other countries have also have an agreement with USA wherein they are being sent. So Panama is one such country. The other is Costa Rica and Honduras. We'll see that as well. So over the last week, that has happened. Now they are being held in a hotel in Panama before they can or till they can be repatriated back to their native country. Now, the authorities over there are claiming that around 40%, in fact, more than 40% of the deportees won't voluntarily return. Means what? Even though the authorities want them to be deported to their native or respective countries, they are not willing to return to their native countries. As you can see over here, these immigrants were holding placard inside the hotel, displaying it to the world. One of it had written on it that please help us. The other placard had written on it this, which says that we are not safe in our country. Spelling of safe, they have misspelled it. It should be safe. They have written it safe, but the meaning is pretty clear. We are not safe in our country. So they don't want to be repatriated to their own country because they feel that they are not safe in their own country. That is why these will be those 40% or more people who are not willing to go to their own native country. Now, why are these immigrants being deported? That is because they are illegally staying in the USA. Illegally staying means what? There are many types of ways in which you can illegally stay. One, you have illegally entered. In fact, two types you can say. You have illegally entered in the country, so you are an illegal immigrant. But there is another way also, that you might have entered legally, but your timeline or time frame to stay in USA has expired, but you have not gone back. You continue to stay in USA. So that is also an illegal immigrant. So this is what is happening. Basically, they are staying illegally. That is why USA is identifying them and sending them off. Now, where are these illegal immigrants from? These illegal immigrants are from majorly 10 Asian countries, majorly from the Asian country. So mostly from 10 Asian countries. Few of the names of this country, of course, India is one such country. Then you have India's neighbors, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and China, plus Iran as well. So these are the Asian countries from which these immigrants majorly are from. Now, if they are illegal immigrant and USA is identifying them and sending them to their respective country, what is the issue in that? The issue is there is a humane process, a dignified process to do this entire exercise. What is this dignified humane process? The dignified humane process is, if you identify, let's say USA identifies that 300 illegal immigrants are there. So USA connects with the respective countries, right? Talks to the government, gives them the detail of the respective citizens of these countries that are held. Those respective countries identify them, and then there is an agreement between USA and the respective nations, and finally USA repatriates them to respective nations, respective countries. This should be the case. Meaning what? USA directly dealing with the countries whose citizens were illegally staying. That should be the case. But is USA doing that? Of course, USA is not doing that. So the question is, how is USA dealing with it? See, Donald Trump is aggressively coming down on illegal immigrants. Fair enough. That is probably the right to do. As a country, you take care of your integrity, sovereignty, safety, security. If there are issues with respect to, India keeps on facing issues of illegal immigrants, especially from countries like Bangladesh, Myanmar, porous border, right? So what do? We, first of all, a lot of them are in India, staying in India since we don't know why. We have to identify that. At the same time, if we identify them, we send it back to their respective nations. See, Donald Trump is doing the same thing aggressively, but he's not following the process which could have been followed. So what is he doing is, instead of sending them back to their respective nation, he has held them in a hotel in Panama, in Costa Rica, and another country's name is now coming up, that is Honduras. In the hotels of this country is where they are staying. So instead of sending them back, they are sending them here as a stopover. Now, what is happening is these countries paying everything, the cost? No. USA has come up with cracked a deal with these three countries, saying that you keep it with yourself, right? Keep it there, right? We don't want in our country. Whatever money is required to keep them in hotel, to feed them, clothe them, this, that, everything, I'll pay. You keep it at your end. Now, the opposition has raised an issue saying that it is a very undignified way. It is not the right way. It is humiliating for India. And see, the government, of course, will do something about it, definitely. We should not politicize this issue altogether. But if you look at it, it is an issue because the USA is not keeping them in its own boundaries, sending them to other country as if there is untouchability. It feels like a social exclusion, untouchability. You cannot even stay in this country. It's not that they are millions in number or a security threat when you have them captive over here. So it is sort of humiliating for them. However, the better way could have been to directly come in contact with the respective nations and send these people back to the respective countries. But instead, the USA has kept them in other countries. In fact, these countries, Honduras, in fact, was not even willing, but there was pressure from USA to come into this agreement. And it did, and now these three places are where the Indians and other illegal immigrants are kept. Now, where are these countries? You should know, because the news might be about illegal immigrant, but you can be asked prelims related question with respect to the country. So this is the United States. Above it is Canada, of course. This is United States. This is Mexico, and this is where you have Panama. This is Panama. This is Costa Rica, and this is Honduras, right? So Panama, both sides, ocean is there. Same with Costa Rica, same with Honduras, because from here also ocean is touching the Honduras border. So you should be able to locate them on the map. You should know a bit of their geography. You should study news like this. So if Iran is in news, you should study the location of Iran. If some city is in news, you should know which country or where that city is located. Becomes very important. Now, the final question is, what is going to happen to the Indian citizens? Now, Indian government has given some clarification or some information with respect to Indian citizens, saying that all the Indian citizens that are there are safe and secure, and the basic human needs, necessity are being met with. So that much is ensured that they are safe and secure. That is one thing. Now, what is going to happen is their nationality will be verified. Once their nationality is verified, they will be, of course, issued emergency certificates. Emergency certificates will be what? A sort of a license to now travel, because they are illegal. They don't have any documents, any legal documents, nothing. So you cannot make a passport for them, right? Passport is for a longer period. It is just a one-off case that they have to be repatriated, as a result of which an emergency certificate will be created so that they can return back to India. So this is what is going to happen. Now, what role can India play over in this? India can have a dialogue with USA, and so can other countries with USA, that boss, if you in future identify such people, instead of doing this publicly and sending them to some other country, you can directly have a hotline and conversation with us as to tell us about their details, and if we can identify them and yes, they are the Indian citizens. Of course, sometimes the identification could be difficult, maybe some documents may not be there, but you need to go that extra mile to verify these kind of things, so then you can directly repatriate. Now the other issue is these people are not willing to go. More than 50%, 40% the authority says are not going to go voluntarily. So in that case, what happens? Even though, because they are saying we are not safe in our country, but in that case also what will happen is they will be repatriated. Generally, they will be repatriated forcefully as well, until and unless there can be another solution, that they seek asylum somewhere else. This can also be possible. For example, they want to seek asylum in UK, and the UK government says that yes, we are ready to, let's say there is an Indian who says that I am facing some atrocity or I am not safe in my country, and if they can prove it, maybe UK says yes, I am ready to give you asylum. So from USA they can directly go to UK. So that is one option, but provided some of the country should be ready to give them asylum. But when any country gives, let's say UK gives them asylum, that will be something which is going against India, because then you are indirectly claiming that India is not safe for its own citizens, which is a big statement, though not a direct but an indirect statement will be made, as a result of which any country would also think twice before doing that. But however, this is also one option. Second option is they willingly go. If they are not willingly going, if they are not getting any asylum, the only third option remains is C. USA cannot continue to keep them over here forever, so they will be forcefully then repatriated to their respective nations. So let's see what future holds for these 300 migrants, and this is just the beginning. Probably we have more numbers to come in. Thank you.